Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss measuring the rate of motion. Suppose here is an object A, it covers 20 kilometers distance in 1 hour. There is another object B, it covers 10 kilometers distance in 1 hour. We also see this in our daily life that one object covers some other distance in the given time, another object covers some other distance in given time. So here we have taken distance, here we have taken time. When we divide a quantity by time, we get rate. And what we are dividing here? We are dividing distance traveled by the object upon time. So this is the rate of motion of an object. And this object A is covering 20 kilometers in 1 hour and object B is covering 10 kilometers in 1 hour. So we will say that object A is moving fast and object B is comparatively slow. When we talk in terms of fast and slow, we get the term speed. Collectively, we call this speed. Speed is distance upon time. We get this speed from here, rate of motion. This is the term rate of motion of an object, and collectively we call this rate of motion as speed. Speed is the distance upon time. How much distance is covered in the given time. That is called speed. That means how fast the object is moving, we call that speed. SI unit of speed is meter per second. That is also can be written as meter second inverse. Other units of speed can also be written as centimeter per second, or you can say centimeter second inverse, kilometer per hour, kilometer hour inverse. All these are the international units, international standard units of speed. Speed is a scalar quantity. What type of unit? What type of quantity is speed? Speed is a scalar quantity. Here we discuss only about magnitude. We say 10 meter per second, object is moving with 20 meter per second. So we talk about magnitude only. Here we don't mention direction. We don't even require direction to mention here. So speed is a scalar quantity. It is not always necessary that object is moving with the same speed. Speed may vary. Sometimes you move with 10 km per hour, sometimes you move with 20 km per hour, 30 km per hour, and so on. When the speed is changing continuously. So in that case, how we will mention the speed? How we will calculate the speed? If an object is moving continuously with the same speed 20 km per hour, then we will say that the object is moving with 20 km per hour throughout the distance. But what if an object is covering a distance with some other speed, distance s2 with some other speed? Let's say this distance it is covering with 20 km per hour. This distance s2, the object is covering with 10 km per hour. It has decreased its speed. Another distance s3, here we have represented the distance with s. Distance we have represented with s. Time is represented with t, and speed we are representing with v. So initially let's say the distance s1, the object is covering with 20 km per hour. s2 10 km per hour, s3 5 km per hour, s4 again 20 km per hour. So object is continuously changing its speed. Some distance it is covering with this speed, some distance it is covering with this speed, some distance it is covering with other speed, and so on. So when the speed is continuously changing, it is not constant. In that case, we will find out average speed. Time for this distance is, let's say, t1. Time for this distance is t2, t3 and t4. How we will calculate average speed now? We will sum up all these distances by summing up all the time taken. That will be our average speed. Let's write down the formula for average speed. Notations must be clear. We have taken the notations S for distance, T for time, and V we have taken for speed. So formula for average speed is total distance upon total time taken. Here total distance is S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus S4. That is the total distance covered. And time is T1 plus T2 plus T3 and T4. That is the total time. Here we have got the formula for average speed, that is total distance upon total time. If instead of speed we are talking about velocity, then we will mark a vector sign here. We will put a arrow here. So need not confuse between speed and velocity. Velocity we will also represent by V, but we will put an arrow over here. Here it is written without arrow, that means it is a scalar quantity. We are talking about speed here and it is velocity. So this is all about speed. We have discussed SI unit of speed. SI unit is meter per second, centimeter per second and kilometer per hour. We have discussed average speed here. Average speed is when we have to calculate average speed. What is the need to calculate average speed? When the speed is continuously changing, it is not constant. In that case, how we will mention the speed? We will calculate average speed in that case. And the formula for average speed is total distance upon total time taken. Let's understand the concept of average speed with the help of a numerical. So the concept of average speed will get clear with the help of this numerical. An object travels 16 meter in 4 seconds. How much distance? 16 meter in 4 seconds and then another 16 meter in 2 seconds. What is the average speed of the object? You have to calculate average speed. First, let's write down what are the given values. First, calculate total distance traveled by the object. Why we are calculating total distance traveled? Because the formula for average speed is total distance upon total time taken. This is the formula for speed. So what we need to calculate average speed? We need total distance and total time. First, let's calculate total distance traveled. Here, first the object is traveling 16 meters in 4 seconds and then another 16 meter in 2 seconds. So distances, first it covers 16 meters and then it is again covering 16 meter. The total distance traveled is 32 meter. 16 plus 16 is 32 meter. Let's calculate the total time taken. We have got this numerator value here, that is 32. Let's calculate the denominator value, total time. First it is moving in 4 seconds and next 16 meter it is moving in 2 seconds. So 4 seconds plus 2 seconds. Total time is 6 seconds. We have got total distance here. Total distance is 32 meter and total time here is 6 seconds. You divide 32 by 6, we get the answer as 5.33. We will write the unit of speed, meter per second. So we have got here 5.33 meter per second is average speed. What we have done here? First we have calculated the total distance, then we have calculated the total time and we have divided both of these quantities and we have got average speed here. Okay, so now the concept of average speed is clear. Now we will discuss velocity. Just now we have discussed measuring the rate of motion. Rate of motion we have discussed in terms of speed. But rate of motion is speed and velocity both. How? Speed means magnitude and when we add direction with this speed, it becomes velocity. Speed is the magnitude only. We are saying the object is moving with 10 meter per second, 20 meter per second. But when we add direction with this magnitude, it becomes velocity. So the definition of velocity is velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. And the formula is velocity equal to displacement upon time. That is displacement upon time. Velocity, we are marking it with arrow because velocity is a vector quantity. Vector quantity, we have mentioned magnitude with direction. So it is our vector quantity. And how we represent a vector quantity? We put an over arrow. We put an arrow over the variable. Here we are writing displacement and we are putting an arrow over this variable. Now, third point is velocity of an object can be uniform. Uniform means it is moving with a constant speed. Constant speed here means it is moving in a straight line, that is in the same direction, and with magnitude is also same, 30 meter per second. It is moving with the same magnitude and same direction. We will say the velocity is uniform. It is constant, and it can be variable also. Variable means the speed is changing, either the speed is changing or direction is changing or both are changing. How this is possible? Let's say this point is A and this point is B. Here the object is moving with 30 meter per second speed. A to B, object is moving in this direction and this magnitude. When it comes to the return journey, it is moving B to A, direction is changed. So we can say when the direction is changed, velocity is changed. And let's say B to A, it is moving with 40 meter per second and speed is also changed. So we can say velocity is changed. Velocity is variable. Variable means either the speed of the object is changing, direction of the object is changing, or maybe both of these are changing, as we have discussed here in this case. Earlier the object was moving in this direction A to B with the speed 30 meter per second, and then in the return journey the direction has been changed and it is moving with 40 meter per second. So both the magnitude and direction has been changed. We are saying that velocity is variable. So what we have discussed in these 3 points: speed plus direction is our velocity, that is magnitude plus direction is velocity. The definition of velocity we have obtained: velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. We have to specify the direction also. The formula for velocity is v equal to displacement upon time taken. And in our third point we have discussed that velocity can be uniform. It is moving with object is moving with constant velocity, and the velocity can be variable also. For variable velocity, what is varying here? What is the quantity which is varying here? It may be speed, it may be direction, or maybe both of these quantities are varying. So we are saying that velocity is variable. But it is not always possible that object is moving with a constant velocity. In our daily life, we see that the object is moving with different velocities. Some distance it is moving with 10 km per hour, some distance it is moving with 20 km per hour. So the velocity keep on changing continuously. So how do we mention velocity in these cases? In these cases, we will calculate average velocity. How we will calculate the velocity when the velocity is not constant? Suppose this distance S1, the object is moving with V1 velocity. Let's mark an arrow. This distance S2, it is covering in time T2 and the velocity is V2. Distance S3, it is covering in T3 time and the velocity is V3. Distance S4, it is covering in time T4 and the velocity is V4. So object is moving with different velocities. It is covering the distance with different or changing velocities, which is not constant. In this case or in such cases, we will calculate average velocity. How we will calculate average velocity? We will do sum of all these velocities divided by number of velocities. Sum of velocities v1 plus v2 plus v3 plus v4 divided by number of velocities. How many velocities are these? These are 4 velocities. And such type of calculation we do in arithmetic mean. While we calculate arithmetic mean of any quantity, we do this. We take the number of quantities, we add them and divide by the number of quantities. Here we have written average velocity as sum of the velocities divided by number of velocities. This is nothing but our arithmetic mean of velocities. How do you calculate arithmetic mean? We just add the quantities and divide it by the number of quantities we have added in the numerator. So that is our arithmetic mean of velocities for a given time. Formula for calculating average velocity. What we have done while we were calculating average speed, we have added total distance divided by total time, but the formula for average velocity is different. Here we have taken the arithmetic mean of all the velocities divided by number of velocities. And SI unit of velocity is same as that of was speed, meter per second, because velocity is displacement upon time, that is meter per second. So the SI unit is same. Let's summarize our today's class. We have got the formula for speed, that is speed equal to distance upon time. We have got the formula for velocity, velocity is displacement upon time. It is represented as v equal to s by t, and velocity is represented as v vector equal to s vector upon t. We should take care of the notations. V here is for speed, s is for distance, and t is for time. Need not get confused between the notations. Here we have put vector sign over here. We have also got average speed. Average speed is total distance upon total time, and total distance can be written as this also, total time can be written as this also. Similarly, we have got the formula for average velocity. Average velocity is sum of all the velocities divided by number of velocities. That is also called as arithmetic mean of velocities in given time. So dear students, this is all for today's class, and in our next class we will discuss rate of change of velocity, that is acceleration. What is the need to study acceleration? We will discuss in detail. Thank you.